Sahana vavadu Sahanau bhunattu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvina vadhitamastu ma viddhishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryanta Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Mukti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatikam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Cheshtarajyam Brahmanam Brahmanaspadana Shrinvannodibhisida Sadhanam Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspadihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Kritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tatvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavaditam Tegunarikhitam Satgurum Tam Namami Bhavaditam Tegunarikhitam Satgurum Tam Namami. Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we are talking about a spiritual development which took almost 5,000 years to find its final fruition. So 7,000 BC to 2000 BC. That's the time period I am talking about. So the Vedas and their final fruition, the Upanishad. So the meaning of the Veda, Veda means knowledge, with to know, Veda means knowledge, spiritual knowledge, or knowledge about the things which we cannot see with our sense organs, super sensuous objects. Super sensuous object. Like heaven or punya, paba, sin, merits, meritorious deeds, incarnations, rebirth. These things we cannot see with our own sense organ. So the Vedas talk about that. So Veda means to know, Vid means to know, Veda means knowledge. And Upanishad, I have given you the meaning. Upa plus Ni plus Shat. These are the three words which constitute Upanishad. The Shat is the root word. These are prepositions. So Upa, we have seen the meaning of Upa means down or near. Ni means totally, without hesitation or without resistance. And Shat means to sit. So these are the meanings. Upa, near. Ni means without any resistance. Shat means to sit. Shat can also mean to go. That's another meaning for Shat, to go. To go to God, to the higher plane of consciousness. That's the meaning of to go. It can also mean to destroy. These are the meanings for Shat. Shat is the root word from which the word Upanishad has been derived. So to go, to destroy, or to sit. These three meanings. And you can give philosophical meanings to all that. To sit down, the Guru, near the Guru, or near yourself, or go to the truth, to God, or to destroy your ignorance. We all are suffering from spiritual ignorance. Though we admit it or not, there is a problem of spiritual ignorance. And what is the spiritual ignorance? We always feel that we are not okay, we are limited, we are inadequate, we are unhappy. That is the nagging feeling which we all have. That feeling of unhappiness is called spiritual ignorance. We feel lost, we feel away from our source. This kind of a feeling. We feel that we are aliens in this country. That's why the immigration people call people who come from outside aliens. So he says, we feel we are aliens in this country. We feel uprooted from our real source. That feeling is there. It's an unanalyzed natural feeling. So that's called spiritual ignorance. So destroy the spiritual ignorance, go to your source, sit near the teacher. These are the meaning of the word Upanishad. So from the Vedas, it took about 5,000 years to come to the Upanishadic wisdom. 5,000 years. Things moved very slowly at that time. And the Vedas are dealing with, we have seen hymns. There are many hymns, about 10,000 hymns in the Vedas. These hymns are adorations and glories of gods, many gods. Vedas talk about many gods. Like the Greeks talked about many gods, Chinese talk about many gods, the Romans talk about many gods. It's all ancient civilization. They believed in many, many gods. It is only now we are forced to believe in one God. Otherwise you are an uncivilized person. Those days we used to believe in many gods and we coexisted with many gods. So hymns to gods. And then Veda also have what you call Brahmanas or rituals. Many rituals are said in the Vedas. How to perform Agnihotra, how to perform Putrakameshti, many rituals to reorganize human psyche or consciousness, to control nature, to command the forces of nature. Many rituals are prescribed in the Vedas. Like shamans, they perform many rituals. They talk about ghosts and then magical powers and perform many rituals. If you have a problem, go to the shaman. He will perform a ritual for you. He will make you lie down and put these iron bowls on your head and your stomach and make noises and all that. That's the shaman. And those rituals are prescribed. And then Veda also talk about contemplations. Many contemplations. Apart from controlling the nature outside, they also have devices, methods to control the nature inside. So contemplations are meant for controlling nature inside, mind, emotions, the unconscious. That's the purpose of contemplation, and many contemplations are talked about in the Vedas. So you can find the development. First the hymns, just simply glorifying God. Then the way Vedic rishis became comfortable with the gods. Then the rituals to control the gods, command gods. You do this for me, you do that for me. May have good children, may have wealth, may have victory in battle. So all those, controlling nature. From simply adoring, isn't it? It's like that. First we adore a person, then we marry that person, then we try to control that person, isn't it? Then we are tired of that person, then you become contemplative. Then you understand my unhappiness doesn't nothing to do with that person. It's my own problem. So I turn withinward, I sit down, close my eyes and try to understand my own emotions. What's happening to me? It seems that the world is trying to torture me, control me. It seems that I am a victim of the world, but it is not true. I am my own victim. So you move within, go within, and then you try to understand your emotions. That's the state of contemplation. It is at that time the theory of karma comes. I am suffering because of my own past misdeeds. Whatever I have done in the past, they are coming back to me, and and I am suffering as a result of that. So, or you try to understand what's happening in your mind. So the rishis suddenly discover, apart from an outer world, there is an inner world, which is much more magical and much more powerful, much more deep. So they have all these contemplative practices. There's a big literature, how to contemplate, how to go into various aspects of your mind, your own emotions. Nowadays we talk about hormonal thinking. When you are angry, certain hormones are released. When you are fear, certain other hormones are released. The adrenaline, the cortisol, those hormones are released. And then the modern science also talks about how to control them. You can have positive thought and release neuropeptides into the brain stream. They can control your hormonal behavior. And you have this prefrontal cortex, By focusing there, you can control the limbic system, which controls your emotions. So Vedic rishis had some clue about all these aspects, and they talk about contemplative science. So that's the third stage of evolution. And from there they graduate into, from contemplation into self-realization. That's the last stage. Self-realization. Self-realization fellowship. That comes from there. So you come to realize yourself. And that, with that, the Vedic evolution has come to a culmination. Thereafter there is no evil. And it took about 5,000 years. So from the age of hymns to rituals, to contemplations, and to self-realization. So we will be mainly dealing with contemplation and self-realization. How to contemplate, how to meditate, and how to realize ourselves. So that's what I was talking about yesterday. Can I wipe out these things? And then I also talked about there are two types of knowledge: subjective. See, when you teach, you need all this information. Otherwise, there will be no, teaching will not be systematic. You will be just talking from here and there, doesn't help. So, these informations are very important. So, one is subjective and the other is objective. Objective knowledge. Subjective knowledge is called paravidya or higher knowledge. In the Upanishadic language, higher knowledge. And the objective knowledge is lower knowledge. The subjective deals with the subject, you, the experiencer. That's the domain, realm of the subjective, you, the experiencer. And the objective is the world of your experiences. That's objective. Because the world of your experiences are objectively presented to you, and hence it is called the objective knowledge. So all that you study, science, is objective, and hence from the spiritual standpoint they are lower knowledge. Whereas the knowledge we deal with here is a higher knowledge, because we are dealing with the experiencer, pure consciousness. So these are the two domains, two dimensions of knowledge, the subjective and the objective. So the Upanishad is dealing with the higher knowledge, the subjective knowledge. So that's what we discussed yesterday. And initially, as a human being, we move about in the objective realm, because we see only in the objective world, a world presented to you through the sense organs. Then you become contemplative, then go to the subjective. By the time you will be about 50, 45, 50. Till 45, 50 you are in the objective world, searching everywhere, leaving no stone unturned. Then you become little frustrated, disappointed, unhappy. But still there is something in you says, no, there is some higher knowledge. So from the objective you move to the subjective. And for that I gave you the example of Yajnavalkya yesterday. Yajnavalkya, one of the greatest rishis of India, Yajnavalkya. So he became arrogant, he gained a lot of knowledge, became arrogant, and his guru dismisses him from the university, and he goes to North India and approaches sun god. Sun god. And sun god teaches him. And Yajnavalkya gains knowledge. So what we study here is what the sun god taught Yajnavalkya. And hence this is called Vajasaneyi also. Vajasaneyi. Vajasaneyi. That's another name for this Upanishad. So sun god taught Yajnavalkya and he gained this knowledge. So he taught two Upanishads. One is Vajasaneyi, the other is Brahad Aranyaka. Brahad Aranyaka. Brahad Aranyaka means a big Upanishad. That's the meaning of Brahad, the big. Aranyaka means what is taught in the forest teachings. It's nice to hear, forest teachings. Goes to the forest, and in the forest you have to live on roots and fruits. You cannot get all these latest food. You have to live on roots and fruits and water taken from the streams. You have to sleep on the open ground. But there are no mosquitoes in the forest because they are clean places. So that's there. That's how you study. So all the teachings that was imparted in the forest. That's why the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So we are discussing this Upanishad, Vajasaneyi, and this Upanishad is also called Isavasya. Isavasya Upanishad. Why it is called Isavasya Upanishad? Isha means God. Isha means God. Isha. Isha means God. Isavasya means that which talks about God. Isavasya. Vasya literally means live. Vasya means live. So in this Upanishad, the Rishi is talking about the all-pervasive nature of God. God lives everywhere, in everything. That's why it is called Isavasya Upanishad. He lives everywhere and he lives in everything. Even in a small grain of sand, even that is pervaded by God, blessed by God. Even a small atom, lived and blessed by God. A grain of sand, lived and blessed by God. Yourself, lived and blessed by. A thought, even the thought is blessed by God. Otherwise, the thought cannot arise in you. So that's the idea of Isavasya Upanishad. So Brihadaranyaka and Isavasya Upanishad. So Yajnavalkya is the one who learned and then propagated or taught this Upanishad. So subjective and objective. This is some revision. Yesterday those who late or were sleeping in the class, for them I am doing some revision. And what else? Yes. What are the qualifications that is expected of a student of meditation? What are the qualifications? Because you need some qualification. Two qualifications. One is Viveka. Viveka means discrimination. Some kind of a discrimination is necessary. You must be able to sort out the good from the bad, the lasting from the fleeting, some kind of a discrimination. Because everything is mixed in this world. Since things are mixed up, we need some intellectual discrimination to sort out things. That's the meaning of discrimination. And that's the first qualification. And the second is some kind of a detachment. Detachment is another quality expected of a student. So an ability to observe, to watch, not to get upset by what is happening around you all the time. That kind of detachment is expected. And the third qualification is faith. A person who has no faith in the higher realities may not have enough energy and the time and enthusiasm to pursue this. Oh, why should I do all this? There is nothing beyond what I see. So unless we have that deep faith, abiding deep faith, that's why I was talking about the leap of faith. Leap of faith is necessary because there is a lot of great gap between what you see and what you are trying to see, trying to realize. So faith is an important. And faith basically in the existence of the higher realities. That faith is necessary. So these are the three qualifications expected of a Upanishadic student. And then I talked about what is our methodology for self-realization. What is the methodology? The methodology, there are three steps. First is listening. You have to listen. Listen what? Listen the words of the scriptures. Listen the words of the scriptures. The other method I told you, just to go and sit under a tree. You go and sit under a tree or a cave and try to imagine something is happening or something will happen. It may happen, it may not happen. That cannot become a method of teaching. So first is listening. Listening to the words of the scriptures. And what we are trying to do is to listen the scriptural words. And the second step is reflection. Reflecting on what you have heard, listened. So that reflection can go on all the time. The scripture says something and you, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, that word rings in your mind. For example, the scripture says you are Satchidanand, you are Shiva. That word rings in your mind because your parents gave you some other name. Now here the scripture is giving you a different name. You are Shiva, and then you are contemplating. What does that mean? And Shiva means you are that supreme consciousness, all-pervading consciousness, blissful oceanic consciousness. You are not this body. The body is only a temporary possession. You will get the body and you will have to leave the body later. So this kind of a idea is given by the scripture. Then I am the body, we all have that knowledge. We are born with that idea. But the scripture is trying to give you some different idea. You are that oceanic consciousness, blissful consciousness, you are Shiva, you are immortal, you are pure, etc., etc. And it may not look logical to you at this point, but you keep on munching those words, like a chewing gum. These are all chewing gums. Keep on munch on these words. I am Shiva, I am Shiva, I am Satchidananda, I am that infinite bliss, I am that consciousness, I am one with God. Oh God. All these ideas are given to you, which is totally different from your ordinary understanding. So that requires continuous reflection. So continuous reflection is necessary all the 24 hours. You have to reflect. Even in sleep, you have to reflect on that. Because in sleep, what you think in your waking and the dream world, that goes into your sleep. So therefore, this must become your continuous reflection. Until you realize the truth of this verse, you continue to reflect. This reflection is not to reject these words. Oh, I reflected, Swamiji, for 21 days. I reflected on your statement that you said I am that ocean of bliss. I reflected on this and realized I am not. You are wrong. I realized that I am not and you are wrong, so I reject your idea. And I continue to be, I decide to be unhappy all the time. That doesn't help you at all. So therefore, reflect till you realize what is said by these ancient masters. You have to realize, till you realize it, you have to reflect. So that's a big task. And then finally, then when you reflect, you get this momentary realizations, these flashes of realization. You know, like when you go to the mountain, you get flashes of these snow-capped peaks, vision of those peaks. Then clouds come and cover it. Similarly, you get these insights. Aha feeling comes sometimes. Oh, what he said was true. Now I understand it. But before you say that, again the cloud of ignorance comes. Then you miss it. So this way you get temporary flashes of realization, temporary visions of that high peaks of consciousness. Then again you lose it. So therefore, now you have to concentrate on those flashes. Your attention should be on those flashes, those realizations you got, and a state will come. You are able to continue to abide there. That is called nididhyasana. That's concentrating on those flashes in life and drawing your inspiration from that. That exercise is called meditation. So you are ignoring the lower aspect of your mind and you are concentrating on the higher realizations. That takes about time, some more effort. Then you are in meditation. So ignore those lower moods or modes of your mind and concentrate on the higher aspects. Then a stage comes, total realization. So these are the 4 steps we have seen yesterday. So here is the qualifications expected of a student. These are the stages you go through. And then one more thing we have seen. When you listen, you are listening to the scriptures, you are not reading the scripture. Reading is necessary, but after listening. So listen and then read. Not simply first read, then listen. Listening is an important discipline of the meditative exercise. So first you have to listen, then reflect, then meditate. Otherwise, if you read independently, then you will be interpreting according to your past knowledge, whichever you have heard, and that is not going to lead you to realization. So those are the 4 stages that one has to do: listen, reflection. So listening from a living person. Living person. Somebody has to tell you what it is. From a living person who himself is convinced about what he is teaching. That's the meaning of a living person. He was called a guru or whatever word you want to use. So these were the things we saw yesterday. Is that clear? I hope there is nothing, not that difficult at all. So we use the Upanishad as a pramana. In Sanskrit we call it a pramana. Pramana means means of knowledge. Means of knowledge. So we are not simply reading the Upanishad to gather information. We are reading the Upanishad to have a direct experience. That should be the spirit. When you read a book, you read the book to gather verbal information. I can give you information about how the Himalayas look like. Oh, there are many, many peaks. And as you go ahead, then you find the snow-covered peaks, etc., etc. Many verbal descriptions, and you get an image of the Himalayas. But you don't get an experience of the Himalayas because the Himalayas are far away from you. Please understand. So when I give you the description of an object which is away from you, other than you, what you get is only verbal understanding, verbal knowledge. But when I am here, I am talking about an object which is not away from you. I am talking about you. I am talking about your essential nature. Your essential nature. And hence, when I am talking about your essential nature, what I am trying to do is to remove your misconceptions. It's like wiping a windscreen. I am removing your misconceptions about you. Which is called ignorance. When I remove your misconceptions about you, then you come to realize who you are. That's the process here. So here knowledge, the description or teaching leads to self-realization. There, if the object is other than you, away from you, description will give you only a verbal understanding. Here description gives you, since description is meant to remove your misconception, and then you will, your own true nature, you will shine in your own true nature. True knowledge arises. So therefore don't take it lightly. All your pursuit will come to a successful culmination by the listening. That's the meaning of a pramana. It is a way of knowing. It is a way of knowing your own self. That should be very clear. It's something like I open my eyes and see this chair. I open my eyes and see the chair. It's a direct knowledge, not a verbal knowledge, because it is right in front of me. Similarly, since I am not separate from me, so these words give me direct experience of my own self. It's something like when the sun is covered by the clouds, you say, I don't see the sun. Then the clouds move away, then you see the sun. So when the clouds were there, the sun was there, but you did not see it. When the clouds moved away, sun is there, then you see the sun. Similarly, when these cloudy thoughts all go away, vanish, then your true nature is revealed. Don't say when the clouds were there, sun is not there. Sun is there. In fact, you see the clouds because of the sun, isn't it? You see the clouds because of your sun. Similarly, you are there, whether you are ignorant of your existence or knowledgeable of your existence. So the task of the Upanishad is to remove your ignorance and reveal your true nature. And there is no other way. All other ways have been tried, tested, and found incomplete or not adequate for self-realization. The only way to gain self-realization is to reflect upon the scriptural words. And to reflect on the scriptural words, you may require maybe an ability to sit down quietly, to concentrate your mind, and then focus on the truth. All those yogic skills will be necessary to do that. But what is going on in the mind is these various steps: listening, reflection, meditation, and realization. So take it as a pramana. This word is very important. Pramana means means of knowledge. Words are gives you direct experience. Direct experience. Last time in Sattva class I told you the story of the 10 students going out and one man was missing, and then Somebody has to come and tell him, you are the 10th man. Similarly, you must know that you are the missing link. And once you turn your attention on you, then you realize yourself. The jigsaw puzzle, the puzzle is solved. You get the missing link, and then you realize what is the truth. So, Vedanta Pramanam. Vedanta is a pramanam. Pramana means knowing the truth. It is with that seriousness we are approaching the Upanishad. If these things are clear, now let us see. So yesterday I also talked about three understandings about the world. That the world is a creation. That the world is a creation. World is a evolution. World is an emanation. Because you see the world around you, the world means objective. What is objective? And in Sanskrit we also call nama rupa. Nama rupa, name and form. The world is nothing but name and form. That's the nama rupa. And that objective world, nama rupa, see the Upanishad Rishi packs the world into that world. The whole universe is packed into one word, one phrase, nama and rupa. Nothing but name and form. For example, this table is nothing but a form. Table has no inherent existence. You can break down this table and there is no table then. You can remove all the parts of the table. When you remove all the parts of the table, there is nothing called table sticking up there. Then where is it sticking? In your mind as a thought. And again you can assemble the table. You can give expression to, a physical expression to what the idea that you have in your mind. That idea is called nama, name, word, a description, and the described. It's only description, this table. You can describe it in a different way. Then its meaning changes, purpose changes, utility change. For an African, when he sees the table, not a modern African, old Africans I am talking about, he will use it as firewood, a good firewood. Because he has no meaning for the table, otherwise he does not write, he does not read books in ancient times. So he will use the table as firewood. So he will describe it as firewood. Whereas you and I say it because you want to read it. We are educated, so we say it's a table used for reading. See, it's a description change. The whole world is nothing but a world. So nama rupa. And there are three ideas about the world. One is the world is a creation. Somebody beyond the world created it. God, let us say. God, transcendental God, self-existing, transcendental God created it. How long it lasts, that's all His pleasure. Thus God created the world. How do you know? How do you know God created the world? Because He revealed to me. Did He reveal to you personally? No, to my forefathers. Who are the forefathers? Moses or some other rishi, some other prophets. God revealed the truth that I created the world. Where is it said? In the Bible. So that's the creationist theory. Now there is the evolutionist theory of creation. Who says that? Stephen Hawking. He says first the world was a singular cell and then it exploded, couldn't it exploded, and then stars, etc., etc., and finally you are there. And they have charted, they have identified all the links. It's an evolutionary theory. So for them, God is a possibility, an emergent possibility. God may come in the future. He emerges. That's the idea. We all are emerging. You can become gods, or the whole world may explode and go back into the same dead matter. That also is possible. And whereas the Vedantic theory is a theory of emanation. The emanation means the primeval reality which is pure bliss. Bliss, according to Vedanta, is the ultimate reality. Happiness, bliss, pure energy, consciousness. These are the words used in Vedanta. Consciousness, bliss, energy. That's ultimate truth. This is alocal, it's not located anywhere. It doesn't exist in time, beyond space. This reality exists, pure existence. That manifests, appear. Emanation also can mean appearance. It appears as the world. So the ultimate reality, without undergoing any intrinsic change, appears as the world. We have discussed in Tattvabodha also. So therefore, when you see the world, you are seeing only the appearance of Brahman. This reality is called Brahman also. Brahman. In the Semitic religion, they call it Abrahman. Abrahamic religions. So Brahman. Here we call it Brahman. And from that Brahman, the world has manifested. So it's only an emanation. So when you see the world, actually, if you are a perceptive person, you are seeing the supreme reality. When a flower blooms, you are seeing the manifestation of that reality. When a star twinkles, you are seeing the manifestation of the reality. When a baby smiles, you are seeing the manifestation of the reality. When a bird takes on its wings, you are seeing the manifestation of the reality. When you see a grain of sand shining on the seashore, you are seeing the manifestation of reality. Even when you see a lion pouncing, predatory lion, pouncing on a trembling deer, even there you see the manifestation of that reality. You have to take it to that extent. Or the viciousness that you see in the serpent, or the piety that you see in a cow. All these are manifestation. So these are all expressions of the same reality. And then when you see these expressions, you don't miss the reality, you don't miss God. So you don't have to search for God everywhere. You see, people go in search of God to the caves or Himalayas. No, you don't have to do. You just sit there and look around. You see the manifold expressions of God everywhere. And in fact, God is seeing through you, talking through you, tasting through you, and feeling through you. All these expressions of consciousness, again, is a manifestation of God. That's how you become ecstatic. That's why Ramakrishna, when he sees the clouds, he dances. Not because he's a peacock, but he just dances because he's excited. He can see God and that. So that way, emanation theory. So we are more into the emanation theory, not evolution or creation theory, because these theories have their own problems. If you say God created the world, then a lot of problems come. But why did he create it? But for? Couldn't he sit down quietly Why did he create all these problems? And if at all he created, why these disparities in the world? Why rich and poor, intelligent and stupid, rich, healthy and unhealthy? Why all these differences? So God seems to be a little narcissistic or sadistic, or you don't know, you have no description for. Why is this suffering in this world if God has created the world? Now you can say he created suffering so that you will purify yourself and you will improve and finally think of God. That's a poor way of making you think of God. First you torture you, and then when you cry, will a mother do that? When the child is playing, mother is angry, he is not thinking of me. Then go and beat up the child or deny food to the child so that the child will think of the mother. That's a very poor way, unintelligent way of making you think of God. So there is no way you can explain why an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-pervasive God should create a world. There is no explanation. So it's ruled out. It's not God sitting somewhere creates the world. Then why evolution? So evolution theory says from matter consciousness comes. We cannot accept that. Because if matter can become consciousness, where was consciousness before? Was it inherent in matter? Was it inherent in matter? Because if the consciousness was not inherent, it cannot create consciousness. Can a mango seed bring out a mango coconut fruit? Not possible. There should be some correlation between the cause and the effect. The cause modifies and becomes the effect. So you cannot say material objects became consciousness. Not possible. Either consciousness was inherent in matter. What is involved alone can evolve. That's a fundamental theory. What is involved alone can evolve. The involved alone can evolve. You see, you must be observing that Vedanta first of all tried to define terms to clarify your thinking so that you can understand your experiences and dismiss some of the unnecessary experience. Otherwise, there is no clarity of thinking. Any experience will be, you get excited by any experience. Oh, when I sat on the tree, there was a sensation on my cranium, and I am realized, my kundalini gone up. But that sensation was because of the crow dropping on your, that's nothing to do with your enlightenment. So you see, any experience, you get overwhelmed by these experiences. That's why Vedanta begins with defining all those things. What are you searching for? Where is it? How far is it from you? How do you reach it? All those things are said in the initial stages, so that we can start the journey. And when you get these temptations on the way, you are not overwhelmed by it. You go like an arrow to the destination. Nothing can stop you. And when you reach there, you know you are here. So the emanation theory is being said. So that theory is here in the first sloka itself, that everything is a manifestation or appearance of God. So this supreme bliss you can call God, you can call it Brahman, you can call it Yahweh, whatever word you want to give to that. You can call it consciousness also. Bliss, consciousness, Brahman, Jehovah, whatever word you, or God, all this, or Mother, Chit Shakti, many words are given to describe that reality. And the world is a manifest. So for enlightened soul, everything is God. All these things will be said here. Everything is God. Nothing is other than God. Meaning what? For an enlightened soul, every occasion is an opportunity to celebrate. There is no occasion which is not celebratory for that person. That's the meaning of seeing God everywhere. Even a person who is cheating you or betraying you, even in him you see the presence of God. God is playing with me. Let me participate in the game. Let me participate, and that will be your understanding. So, let us read this once more. Om Purnamataha Purnamitam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti.
Om Purnamataha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. So the Rishi is trying to explain the essential identity between the souls and the manifested world. There is no gap, there is no difference. So that is Purnam, this also is Purnam. That does not mean there are two existences. Existence is one. And that identity, unity, non-separateness is explained by saying that that's Purnam, that's complete, this also is complete. That is infinite, this also is infinite. That means which is the invisible, the source, the ground, the cause, the primeval cause. That is infinite. And this which you see around you, which is constantly changing this world, that also is Purna. Meaning this world is non-separate from the source, the reality, from God. So God manifests like a thread which runs through all the flowers, let us say, and making into it a garland. You know, when you make a garland, you run the thread through all the flowers. Or like a necklace, beads, the threads running through all the beads and make it into a beautiful necklace. Similarly, God pervades everything. There is not even a minuscule speck of space or matter which is devoid of God. That idea is being said. Why do you seek everywhere else? Like the fish is seeking for the ocean. He is in the ocean, swimming in the ocean, born in the ocean, will die in the ocean. And the fish is asking another fish, where is the ocean? So that fish says, you fool, you are in the ocean and you are seeking for the ocean. Open your eyes and breathe the ocean. Swim in the ocean. Celebrate your oneness with the ocean. That's the idea being said. Purnamadaha, Purnam, Idam. Idam means the world, Adaha means that source, that ground. Both are Purnam means there is no fault line, there is no boundary between the gold and the golden ring. Let's say I make a ring out of a piece of gold. I give this piece of gold to the goldsmith. He makes a ring out of it and gives me, and he calls the ring. And when I get the ring, I ask him, where is the gold I gave you? You are giving me the ring, I gave you the gold. Goldsmith saying, see, you gave me the gold and I am giving you the ring. Now you say, no, I want the gold. There is no gap. There is no separation between gold and ring. What you call gold, the goldsmith called ring. After some time you also will start calling it ring. Then when you give it to your beloved, fiancé, then you called it wedding ring. Isn't it? Gold, ring, wedding ring. Is there any gap? Gold is ring, ring is wedding ring. But you give three values to that. For an ordinary person it is pure gold. For a goldsmith it is ring because he put his effort into it. For you it is a wedding ring because you have got to put your emotion into that. Now for you it is wedding ring. But there are only one thing. The same thing from three standpoints becomes gold, ring and wedding ring. Isn't it? Both these words indicate the same phenomena, the same reality. Similarly, God becomes the world for worldly people, and people are extremely attached to this. They say it is my world, it is my chair, it is my shoe, it is my furniture. All these expressions come, but ultimately it is the same truth. That's the idea being said. Purnamadaha Purnam idam. Now Purnat Purnam udachyade. This world udachyade arises, manifests from the Purna, from that source, from that ground, from that truth. Now when you say it arises, never imagine that it arises like a creation. A creation means it's separate. For example, a carpenter makes a furniture, piece of furniture. The furniture is separate from the carpenter. That's why it's called a creation. Or somebody paints a wonderful painting. That painting is separate from the painter, the artist. Or somebody makes a pot. The pot is separate from the pot maker. Isn't it? So you can buy the pot and take it. When you take it, the pot maker doesn't come with you. So there it is separate. Or even in the case of evolution, the old source or the cause disappear into the effect. For example, a seed become a tree. Now the seed is gone. Now it is a tree. Or you make a curd from milk. The milk is gone. It has become curd. You cannot get the old source back, the cause back. So here you cannot say the source disappears, changes to become the world. Then there is only the world of misery. There is nothing else. So the idea is the infinite blissful consciousness, it is only appears. I always tell the example of the artist, the actor. Schwarzenegger acts and is being caught by a group of tribals. That he is taken and he is tortured and he is screaming. And all of you who see the movie also scream. Schwarzenegger is being tortured by these tribals and he is screaming, and there is all bruises all over his body and blood is dripping, and you cannot believe. But mind you, Schwarzenegger is laughing inside because his bank balance goes up by so many millions of dollars. He is not affected by it at all. Similarly, the blissful consciousness, you and I, has become this painful entity. It is only a play act. It is not reality. The truth is, you are still the same consciousness. Similarly is the world. The world is not separate from the truth. So when we say the world arises from that truth, it does not mean it's an act of creation or it's an act of evolution. It is only an act of emanation. Like the gold becoming the ring. The ring is not separate from the gold. So Purnat Purnam Udachyade. So I would use the word appearance. That source, the ground, appears as the world. The world is only an appearance of that. Now, Purnasya Purnamadaya. And the world appears like a wave appears in the ocean. When a wave appears in the ocean, does the wave stand apart from the ocean? No. The wave is one with the ocean. The wave is in the ocean. Wave is moving about in the ocean. And finally the wave is go back into the ocean. So wave is non-separate from the ocean. And then when the wave appears, it is with the ocean. When the wave was not appearing, still it was with the ocean. And when the wave finally disappears, what happened to the ocean? The ocean remained the same. Nothing happened to the ocean. So that is being explained here. Purnasya Purnamadaya. Negate the world from. Adaya means negating. Negate the world from that source. Nothing happens to the source. Source remains the same. Purnasya Purnam Adaya. Negate the body from you. What happens to you? You are there. You are not completely gone. Negate your thoughts from you. What happens to you? You are there. Negate everything from you. The waking world, the dream world, the sleep world. You are still there. You don't change at all. So Purnasya Purnamadaya, negating all these emanations, manifestation. Still the reality. Purnam eva avashishyade. Purna means the reality, eva alone, avashishyade, exists, he says. Negate the ring from the gold. What happened to the gold? How do you negate the ring from the gold? Put the ring in the fire. When you put the ring in the fire, then it melts. The ring is melted and goes back to this original form. There is no more ring. Ring goes, but the gold remains. The wave goes, the ocean remains. Similarly, you can negate everything. For example, when you go to sleep, you negate the waking, you negate the dream, you are simply remaining in your blissful state, but fully ignorant about that. In an awakened state, you remain fully awakened. That is the only difference. So he says, Purnasya. Purnasya means from the source. Purnam Adaya. Adaya means negating. Negate this Purna, the world. What remains is Purnam. The same reality remains. Eva avashishyade. Alone remains. Can you visualize it? You have to do some visualization. Meaning since it is all an emanation, these emanations come and go. Like waves come and go in the ocean. They don't remain permanently. Just as waves don't remain permanently. So these experiences come and go, but the experiencer per se remains without any disturbances. Your experiences come and go. And what are the experiences? Waking experience, dream experience, sleep experience, death experience, trance experience, swooning experience. Many experiences can come and go, but the experiencer, you, the consciousness, remain unaffected by any of these. Experiences are like lines drawn in water. As you withdraw the finger, the lines also disappear. That is where your meditation is. That's where your peace is. Once you identify the experiencer, not the experiences. Experiences can be very painful sometimes. Very painful. And if you identify with the experiences, then you are living in memory. When you live in memory, you miss the spirit, your true nature, your true bliss. And all of us are living in memories because we identify with the experiences. And memories can be very bitter sometimes, very painful, very pleasant also. The pleasant experiences we want to recall, unpleasant experiences we want to forget, and the more we try to forget, the more it comes back to you. That's our suffering now. So he says, identify with the pure consciousness. So in meditation, you are trying to withdraw from all these memories and the experiences which caused all those memories, and trying to seek your true nature. That's what is being said here. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyade. Now let me put in another way. It's a very simplistic way, but then it helps you understand what I mean. The whole world exists in your consciousness are pleasant and unpleasant experiences. The whole world. Isn't it? After all, when I see my child, let us say, the child comes to me, my consciousness or sensation. There is no other way of knowing the child. I can touch the child, touch sensation. I can see the child, sight sensation. I can smell the child also. That is another sensation. So the child, my contact with the child is only nothing but a bundle of sensation. And when this sensation impinge upon my consciousness, then I say, oh, I see my child. That is all what is happening. And then I interpret that. That gives me an experience called pleasure. Oh, I enjoy the sight and the touch and the presence and the giggle and the smile of my child. Isn't it? And when the child grows up, become a teenager, I no more enjoy his sight because he gave me a lot of pain. He talks back, he questions, and he doesn't listen to me, and he disrespects me, and he counter questions also. So therefore, it gives me pain. The same child, the same sensation. So fundamentally, all the worldly experience can be grouped under two sensations, pleasure and pain, is it not? Pleasure and pain. That is all the world is for you. I don't see anything else. Oh, this is pleasurable, this is painful. This is what you carry about the world. Pleasure and painful, sukha dukkhe, that is all what the world is for you. You may go to Las Vegas and come back. What is the experience? When you drive through those two hills and then you see the wonderful sea of light, pleasant experience. And I go around and then I come back, I carry a bundle of pleasant experience. And then when I come and look into my bank balance, the whole thing is gone. Unpleasant experience. So pleasant experience invariably leads to unpleasant. That's a law. That's a law. Wherever there is pleasant experience, invariably it leads you to unpleasant experience. That law cannot be changed. And then again, you need pleasant experiences. So the world moving like a wheel. That's why Buddha said the world is like a wheel. The wheel, the first half of the wheel goes up, then it comes down, then it goes up, comes down. This way our life moves. Like a wheel it moves. Pleasant and unpleasant experience. These pleasant and unpleasant experience, they are your experiences, not you. They are something moving about in you. They don't affect you. They are like clouds in the space. This is what you are telling in your meditation. Let me not be affected by all this. So Purnasya Purnamadaya, when you remove these experiences, because the world is fundamentally these two experiences. And these experiences come and go. And you are the observer. When they come and go, Purnasya Purnamadaya, what remains is you, the blissful Satchidanand. Purnameva Avashishyade. This is the only way to recapture your bliss and your identity. There is no other way. No other way have been found by humankind. The only way to be a happy person is to detach from both pleasure and pain. When the pleasure comes, detach. Don't run away from it, but only detach. When pain comes, don't run away, you cannot, but detach. Detach means to observe. To observe means clearly understand the difference between you and the observed, the object and the subject. That way, you will be able to transcend all these painful experiences. That's what's called meditation. There is no other meditation. There is no other meditation is this art of just watching your pleasurable and painful experiences and abiding in your true nature. Then you will be able to decide what to do, how you should respond to situation. For that you may have to sit for some time, close your eyes, watch your mind, chant a mantra, observe, etc. Do pranayama. All these are meant to know that you are different from your experiences. You are the pure self. You are like the space. So Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva avashishyate. So ultimately for you, the individual, world means your pleasure and your pain. There are two modes of mind. That is all what the world means to us. The other world has no existence for us. It may exist for somebody else. What is pleasurable for you may be painful for the other. That is possible. What is painful for you may be pleasurable for the other. So you may interpret the world differently. Different people may interpret. But finally, all experiences can be reduced into this thing. Now, adaya, remove that. You don't have to remove, they'll keep on moving. You have to only observe it. So to remove these experiences means to observe, to see that they are constantly changing. That's all what you have to do. Experiences constantly change. When we realize it, that is your liberation. That's your freedom. That's your self-realization. That's your meditation. So Purnasya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva avashishyate. So please understand these two words. This is supposedly the most famous statement in the Upanishad, this particular slogan. And you must have a clear grasp of what is being meant. So two words are used, ataha. Ataha means that. Ataha, that. And then idam, this. Idam, this. Those two words. What does that mean? Can anybody enlighten me? What does that mean? Consciousness. That is consciousness, the source. The source of everything. In this context, that means if I say bring me that, you don't have to bring consciousness. Maybe some book or something. So here, adaha means that conscious, and idam means this, the world. The world. This means the world. And the world includes your body and your thoughts and your memories. Let me make it very clear. Body, thoughts, and memories. And which is called the ego. So Ramana Maharshi says the world is the ego. Because you experience the world through this, that's the ego. So your body, your thoughts and memories. So that ataha and idam, the world. And where this world come from? From that. Is it separate from that? No. When it exists non-separate from it. And when it goes, does anything happen to the higher source? Nothing. It remains all the time. Even when it exists, the higher doesn't change at all. It's always the same. When you know that, realization is immediate. You have understood the truth. You realized it. And our attempt is to make you see it all the time, again and again and again. Now he says, Purnat Purnam Udachyade. It arises, this arises from that. And then it arises, exists for some time and goes. When it goes, nothing happens to this. When you know that, you understood the truth. This equation is very, very fundamental in self-realization. And then Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace be, peace be, peace be. So 3 P's invocation. Anything you do, you have to do 3 times. Even in when we go to the gym, I find they ask you to do everything 3 times. So 3 times seems to be a cardinal principle. Do it 3 times, chant 3 times, go around the temple 3 times, and mantra 3 times. So peace be, peace be, peace be. Continuing. Om Isavasyamidam sarvam.
Om Isavasyamidam sarvam.
Yatkincha jagatyam jagad.
Yatkincha jagatyam jagad.
Tena tyaktena bhunjidhaha.
Tena tyaktena bhunjidhaha.
Ma gridha kasya svidhanam. Now when you read the previous sloka, the English translation becomes very clear to you. That is whole, that's what this says. Let's take the previous one. That is whole. This is whole. From the whole, meaning that whole, this whole becomes manifest. Is that clear? From the whole, meaning the higher, when the whole is negated, when the world of thoughts, etc., is negated because they appear and disappear, what remains is again the whole. Nothing is changed. Even when this whole manifests, that is not change. It is only a emanation, an expression. If that is clear to you, some of these translations are very good. Some of them are not. Whether it's not good, then I'll remind you that. Now, Om, again Om, an auspicious word, Om. Let me go a little bit into the Om business there. Om, we have seen, is made up of 3 words, A plus U plus M. Let's say that way. Om, A-U-M, Om. A-U-M, Om. When you chant it together, it becomes Om. In Sanskrit, the words are A plus U plus M. Om. Chant it together, Om. And here in Om, this represents all your waking experiences. All your waking experiences is indicated by that single word A. And U represents all your dream experiences, indicated by the word U. And Ma, all your sleep experience. Ma, sleep experience. That's the meaning of Ma. So this is the entire world of creation. Ma. The Rishi said the whole world is just one explosion of Om. Om, that's the world. So according to the Rishi, the world is nothing but a bundle of vibrations. And those vibrations put together sound Om. So whenever you chant Om continuously, you find the whole world vibrates like Om. You go and stand near a seashore and the lapping of the waves on the shore, if you listen to it carefully, it sounds Om. Try it. Or when the breeze passes through the bamboo forest, it sounds Om. Or you hear the Ganga flowing, it sounds Om. Or you listen to your own inner voice, just close your eyes and listen to the silence, it sounds Om. So Om has got, or a good music, instrumental music, it sounds Om. So that way, the whole world is accounted for by this particular sound, Om. And the Om emanates from silence. Silence. Silence means no sound, soundlessness. So therefore the Om is a manifestation of silence. Silence. Shanti. Shant. Shanti. Pure silence. And that silence is consciousness. Which is the meaning of Adaha. Ada. That. Now, can I wipe it off? Now the Rishi, instead of Ataha, that, he gives a definite name for this. That concept of that. He says, Isavasyamidam sarvam. Let's read it once more.
Isavasyamidam sarvam.
Yatkincha jagatyam jagade.
Yatkincha jagatyam jagade.
Tena tektena bhunjitaha.
Tena tektena bhunjitaha.
Ma grudha kasya svidhanam.
Ma grudha kasya.
The first line is a statement which reveals the relationship between God, that, the power, and the world. Again, the relationship is stated here. Earlier it was said everything comes from that. Now, since everything comes from that, that must be pervading or living, existing in everything. That idea is being said here. Isha, the word is Isha. Isha. Do you see that word there, Isha? I-S-A. I-S-A, Isha. That word Isha is derived from the Sanskrit dhadu or root called it. It. In English also it called it. In Sanskrit called it. It means to rule, to govern. To rule, to govern. So Isha means a derivative of the word it, means the governor. It's a noun form of the verb it, to govern. So Isha means governor, ruler. Ruler, governor, president, or whatever you want to. It's a ruler. So that power, when it manifests, it becomes the ruler, governor of the manifested world. Then it suddenly that power gains a new responsibility, a new status. It creates and then it governs what it has created or manifested. So that's why it's called governor or the ruler, that power, God. At this point you can call it God. The question or the biblical concept of God manifests at this point, governor. So Isha, the governor, the ruler, the controller. Isha. Isha there means by the controller. Isha, by the controller. Ish is the noun. Ish, to govern or governor. Isha means by the governor. So see the evolution of the world. It, to rule. Ish, the ruler. Isha, by the ruler, by the governor. Suddenly you become a governor now. That power. It is like when you have a child, then what happens to you? You are the father, and the father becomes the governor. There is somebody to command, to order, to discipline, to whatever your father told you and you did not listen, now you say the same thing to your child. So suddenly you become a governor. Similarly, when the reality manifests of the world, the reality start governing, become the governor. Isha, by the governor. Vasyam, Vasya, the second word. Vasyam has got two meanings. This is a problem with this is called Vakya Vichara. In Vedanta, we call it Vichara. Vichara means reflection. Reflection on the words. Reflection on the words. I think it's called exegesis in English, or hermeneutics. Hermeneutics or exegesis. Otherwise our thoughts may just go haywire, wandering thoughts. Here your thoughts have got a direction. You are not simply thinking something. Your thinking is directed and governed by these words. The words, these words. So Isha, the meaning we have seen, and now we have to see the second word, Vasyam. Vasyam. What is the meaning of that? Where is this governor sitting? Earlier it was said he is there beyond senses, transcendental dimension. Now once the world manifests, where does the governor sit? Where is he? Yes, he says Vasya means to, Vas means to live. That is one meaning. To cover, that's another meaning. Vas, Vasya is evolved or derived from the word vas. This has got two meanings, to live or to cover. Sanskrit word. And don't say that Sanskrit word we don't know. All our, whether you are a Caucasian or we all are Caucasians that way. Add in Caucasian race, whether you are white or brown, we all come from the same race. Caucasian race. Some went to Europe, some went to Iran, and some went to India. That's why our language, the roots are the same. Whether it is German or Latin or Greek or Sanskrit, roots are the same. So vas has got two meanings. One meaning is to live, the other is to cover. So in Sanskrit, for your cloth, the word for Sanskrit is vastram. Have you heard that? Vastram. Vastra means to cover, something which covers you. Vastram. Vasadi. Vasadi means somewhere, a place where you live. Vasadi. Vas means to live. I live in this house. This is my vasadi. So you can take both the meaning for Vasyam. So God, Isha, by Isha, Vasyam, He lives and He covers also. He does both. He lives and He covers. Where does He live and what does He cover? Next. So Isha Vasyam. Idam Sarvam, he says. Idam means this world. Sarvam means all this world. All this world is covered by God. God's presence covers the whole world. Not only covers the world, He protects the world. That's another meaning you can give. He covers, He protects, and then He lives in this world also. He lives everywhere in this world. Your heart, my heart, everybody's heart, He lives. So He lives and covers idam sarvam, the whole world. Now how do you experience this? How do you understand this? God lives everywhere and God covers everything. God covers everything means nothing is outside the presence of God. That's why He covers. For example, this house covers us. We are not outside the house. So God doesn't exclude anything. That's the meaning of covering. He is an inclusive presence. He covers everything. The Jewish, the Hindu and the Muslim, everything is covered by, under the wings of God. It's not exclusive God. He's an inclusive God. He covers everything. There's no space where there is no God, where there is no His presence. And not only covers everything, when we say we cover everything, we may think inside there is something else, because He is only a cover. No, He lives in everything. So He lives in everything and He covers everything. Meaning what? Everything is He. Both the cover and the content. Both are He. It's like an ice cream. You can eat the whole thing. You can eat the cover as well as the content also. You can ice cream, So God covers everything. He is the content as well as the envelope which covers everything. Both the envelope and the enveloped, both are God, He says. So Isavasyam idam sarvam. That's a very profound statement. Isavasyam idam sarvam. He envelops and He lives in everything. From the minuscule speck of matter to the vast cosmos, everything He envelops and covers. And idam sarvam, in Sanskrit idam means the world. That's the meaning in Sanskrit, idam. Sarvam means all this. And he gives an explanation for the world, the Upanishad. Yada kincha means whatever is there. Whatever. It includes everything. Yat kincha, whatever exists, all that is covered and enlivened by God. Whatever exists, yat kincha. Jagatyam, jagad. Jagatya means in this world. Jagatyam, in this world. In this world, whatever is there, Jagat. Jagat Meta, that's a name in India, Jagat. So what does Jagat mean in Sanskrit? In Sanskrit, Jagat means that which comes and goes, that which appears and disappears. That's the meaning of Jagat. Jayade, Gachadi, Idi, Jagat, that which appears. So the world is considered as a big stream. It's continuously moving, continuously changing. Everything is momentary. Jagat means the momentary world. There is an interesting Latin statement. Omnia mutandur nihil interit. Omnia mutandur nihil interit. Omnia means everything. Mutandur means changes. Everything changes. Omnia mutandur. Nihil interit. But nothing is lost. Everything changes. But nothing is lost. Omnia muttandur nihil interit. Everything changes, nothing is lost. So this world is constantly changing, but nothing is lost. God is always there in all these changing. He is always there. Everything changes. This is again the modern scientific theory, the theory of conservation of matter. You can change everything, but you cannot destroy anything. Nothing can be fundamentally destroyed. That is a theory of conservation of matter. The same thing is said here. This world constantly changes, everything changes, but nothing is completely destroyed. God remains in this change. It's like going for a whitewater rafting. You don't see this person sometimes because the whole thing goes into the water. Water and the raft and the people, everything become one, and you think they're gone, finished. Then they emerge from somewhere. So you understand that everything changes, but nothing is lost. There's some or other emerge. So Isavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagad. Whatever is there, jagatyam, in this universe. Jagat means changing. In this changing universe, whatever exists is enlivened and enveloped by the governor, the ruler, that supreme power, which is consciousness. In this changing universe, whatever changes exists. Now let me take it to subjectively. Now when you look at in meditation, this is to be contemplated in meditation. In meditation, thoughts are changing. Thoughts come and go. So you don't have to stop your thoughts. Not necessary. Because the more you try to stop your thoughts, the more thoughts will come. It's a very futile enterprise. It is like stepping into a tar pit and trying to get out of it. The more you try to get out of the tar pit, the more you plunge into the tar pit. Or like trying to remove your this pimple. The more you try to remove it, the more it grows on your face. Isn't it? So the best way to get out of your thought is not to do anything about it. Just to watch them. And to realize in all these thoughts, the same power. All these are emanation, manifestation of the same power. So let all the thoughts come, go, but you remain there without any change. So Isavasyamidam sarvam yat kinja jagatyam jagata. To highlight this idea, we have the Puranic stories. We talk about the story of Prahlad, a young boy who was tortured by his father simply because he said God is everything. He repeated this line, Isavasyam idam sarvam. God lives and pervades everything in this world. The father didn't like it. Father said all the time, God, 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 God. Where is that God? Tell me. So he said, he is everywhere. Then the father said, is he in that pillar? In this pillar. This was an iron pillar, solid pillar. Not a hollow pillar, solid iron pillar. Is he there? So Prahlad said, yes, he has to be there too. It's a thick, solid pillar. Then in utter anger, he struck the pillar with his sword. The pillar broke into two pieces. And out of it comes, they say, a man lion. They say it's an emanation of God. It's a story. And he took this man and put in his lap and crushed him to death. This God, the God of anger, he came out of that. You may ask, why did God do that? The only answer is, why shouldn't he? He can do anything. He can do anything at that point. That is the only solution at that point. So God can appear in any form, from anywhere, and in any occasion, according to the need of the hour. He has the ingenuity to recreate himself, this power. That is the infinitude of this power. The Isavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagad. Whatever is there in this changing world, all are enlivened and enveloped by the same power, Ish. Okay, that is a statement, that's your vision. That's the vision given by the Upanishad. Now how do you create a value system out of it? How does it help you in living in this world? What value should you derive out of this? God is everything and He pervades. He lives in your heart. He is the material out of which everything is created. And what value should I draw out of that understanding? So one has to chant it again and again. Isavasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagad. He lives in everything. The value that you draw is tena tektena bhunjitaha. Tena, therefore, tektena, renounce. Tekta means tej means to renounce, give up, sacrifice, share. These are the meaning of tektena. There is no point in writing in Sanskrit, I will write in English. Yeah. Tena tektena. So you have it, tektena, that word here. Tektena. Tektena, that's the word. Tektena has meaning renounce, sacrifice, share. These are the meanings for renounce, sacrifice and share. Tena tektena. Therefore, renounce. Don't possess, but renounce. So renunciation is a big message of the Upanishad. Share, renounce. Renounce your suffering. If you are suffering, Swamiji, I am suffering since 10 years. 10 years you are suffering? Why don't you just give it up? How can I give it up? I have been living with it all this while. That is the only friend I have. Everybody else has left me. Only I am with my suffering. How can I give it up? What can I tell you that person? So the Upanishad message is, if you are suffering, renounce it. Renounce. If you are not able to manage this, give it up. No, I cannot. I cannot give it up because I have fallen in love with that. I have fallen in love with my own miseries, my own agitations. This is very simple. Something like if you step onto a burning cigarette butt, what will you do? Just pull your leg instantaneously. I don't have to plead with you, please take your nonsense. Or suddenly one day you woke up and you see your house is on fire, what will you do? Jump out of the house. If you are still remaining there, means you are heavily sedated or you are drunk. You are inebriated. I have to get you out of that, then make you see, then you will jump out. So renunciation is the easiest thing to do. People say it's very difficult. What have you renouncing? Your suffering, your misery, your agitations, your weaknesses. Just give it up. And don't take time. Because if you too much think about it, you will not give it up. It will keep on bothering you. So just give it up. So tena tektena, renounce, and then life becomes a celebration, he says. Renounce. Therefore, renounce or share. Share your wealth. Share whatever you have. Renounce, share, or sacrifice. And then what should you do? Bhunjida. Bhunjida means enjoy. Bhunjida, that word. Bhunjida means enjoy. Bhunjida. So the Upanishad Rishi wants us to enjoy life, not to suffer. Suffering because you are clinging on to. That's the famous teaching of Buddha also. Clinging. Clinging to a few things. And then it becomes suffering. Therefore, don't cling on to anything, he says. Just live like the flow of a river. Let things move. Don't cling on to anything. When they are there, enjoy it. When they have gone, enjoy their absence also. Understand? That's all what you have to do. When they are there, enjoy it. Don't again hate it. Because Buddha doesn't teach hatredness. Or Upanishad Rishis won't teach hatredness. They only say, when they leave you, don't run behind them. Because that will be your doom. When they leave you, let them go. When they are there, enjoy it intelligently. So, bunchidaha, renounce, don't cling. And then enjoy it. You know what are the things which gives you misery. You know it. Certain things gives you a lot of pain. And some people enjoy those pain. But if it is too much for you, just give it up, he says. Then you find the joy. A vast space opens up in you. Vast space. Oh, I must buy that car, I must buy that car, I must buy that car. You keep on thinking about it. And you look at everybody's garage. They all have that car. You are suffering, you are miserable. You are fighting, you are finding ways and means of getting it. And then you look into all the brochures and then call up people and then you get calls. You cannot even sleep. Because once they know you have this desire, you are bugged by that, then they are going to call you every minute. Many insurance people come call you, many mortgage people call you. This, I will give you this much, and your life is in misery. And one day you decide, let me give up that thought and enjoy my life. You understand? And then your life, you create a lot of, otherwise you create a lot of fuss around you, lot of thinking. And then you will be able to. So therefore, tena, tektena, bunchida, renounce and rejoice.